Welcome aboard, boys and girls. Today we're going to be doing a video on render. I'm also going to slip in a little bit of love for the sniper compensator. We did some massive tests on the sniper compensator out to 350 meters. And I'm going to let you know why that's something you should really be considering looking into. I want to talk specifically first about render. It's a big video, this, even though it's not going to be very long, and it's something that is incredibly important if you're a serious PUBG mobile player and you like winning gunfights. I also want to thank everyone who's been subscribing lately and who's been putting ideas for videos in the comments. That's how this video came about. So if you have been subscribing and putting videos in the comments, hot diggity dog, you're a great human. This video is suggested by Luciano Galiccio. We really love to see a rendering distance video. Well, Luciano, get your little cotton socks into your seat and start watching, because that's what we're doing right here, right now. There's not much more that I like doing in life than ripping people out of cars in PUBG Mobile with sniper shots. And indeed, just the long-range shenanigans is what I'm all about. That's really my impetus here. I want people to be able to understand what's going on at different ranges with their sniping, and it'll inform your decisions on what you're doing with your gunfighting. Well, I think that will be helpful anyway. The problems with sniping is not those kind of things. It's these kind of things where you zoom in and you can see whole ridge lines that just disappear. Like that. You can see that's a pretty important thing to see happen. That's the 230 meter breakpoint. There's 3 breakpoints that you really need to be aware of. There's 230 meters, 110, and then 65. The limit for players to be able to see players is 400 meters, but these are the terrain breakpoints where you can see the target, but you can't hit. At 110, you can see this ridge going backwards and forwards, just dropping away. That's without zooming in. That's just disappearing. And that's quite strange to me that there are so many weird breakpoints like this. This is 65 meters. Faz's feet on top, and then they're a meter above, and then they're on top, and then they're a meter above. The big breakpoint though is 230 meters. You can see here that's Faz on the very, very tip, my teammate number 2. To the right of Faz is Sog Steve, that guy there. Now at 230 meters, there's a huge chunk of the mountain missing. Steve is actually in line with Faz in terms of distance, but he is absolutely invisible anywhere but the very, very tip of his head. So the only part you can shoot on the target on the right is the very, very top of his head there. That can lead to an awful lot of trouble. And it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do this testing. So at 230, if you see someone and they're not looking at you, you need to be very, very careful about taking the shot. And it's something that informs your playmaking as you go forward. We also tested across a whole bunch of different devices. Because let's be honest, you're always worried that it's just going to be an advantage for iPads or phones or whatever, but that wasn't the case at all. The numbers were universal across both phones and iPads. And it didn't matter whether you were in a team with the person or not. All the render distances were the same. Everyone dropped out at 400 meters in terms of enemy fire, and the actual render distance for the ridge lines was universal as well. It's one of the reasons why if you're fighting someone, you really want to start going for headshots. And even then, if you are thinking about taking a shot and someone is, say, 250 meters away, and you know that because you've marked their position and all you can see is the tip of their head, don't take the shot. You're just letting them know where they are, and you're not going to hit them. They are physically behind the hill already. You just can't see that. Rocks and things as well. They have like this rock here. See that guy's trying to shoot at me and he can't get around that edge line? Like, that's the kind of stuff that happens on rocks all the time. So be very, very careful with that. Anyway, back to what we were talking about earlier. I also did some testing with the boys for the sniper compensator. Now, I've long bemoaned the fact that the sniper compensator is pointless over long ranges for bolt action sniper rifles, because all it does is lower recoil. And that doesn't matter when you're just single shotting with an M24. But What the sniper compensator does now is lowers damage drop-off over distance. And we tested that all the way out to 350 meters. We tested it at 100, we tested it at 350, and we found something really, really interesting. Across the board, it actually reduces damage drop-off by 1.7%. Now, that doesn't sound like a lot, but you've got to remember that if you're talking about 350 meters, you're not doing as much damage as a 0 meter shot. So a mini, for instance, does 53.9 damage at 0 meters. At 350 meters, it does 50.7 damage into a chest. If you put a compensator on it, does 51.6. You're getting a whole extra point of damage at 350 meters that you wouldn't get otherwise. And an extra point of damage can be the difference between killing a target and not killing a target. If you haven't experienced gunfights where you're finishing with 1 or 2 hit points worth in the fuel tank, then you haven't played a lot of PUBG Mobile. And especially in squad games or when you're using bolt action rifles, because bolt actions are all about hitting breakpoints. If you're doing 76 base damage to a target at 0 range with an M24 into a level 1 vest, a compensator will allow you to keep that 76 base damage out further, and that clears a level 1 vest. So it really is worth your while to put a sniper compensator onto a bolt action rifle. And I love this because that is something that is brand new to the game. For the longest time, for 4+ years now, sniper compensators have done nothing for bolt action rifles. But this change sees sniper compensators become a relevant part of a sniper's arsenal. I hope you enjoyed that video. I hope it was helpful and useful for you. And it's info that I've not seen discussed out there on the web before. So if you've got any good ideas, as I say, like Luciano, put them in the comments below and we might just do a video on it. I'm Bushka. Thank you so much for watching. Look after yourselves and stay safe on the battlefield. Bye for now.